Are you ready to join me in transforming fear to freedom? That's the objective of the show. Are you ready to explore with me and my guests? Are you ready to get into the deep and play? This is where it's at, and that's what it's all about. No medical advice here. Use discernment and decide for yourself if the information is right for you. All views and opinions expressed on this show belong to the individual and are not necessarily shared with the producer of the show. Want more details? Go to letsgetrealchattinwithcatherine.com. Now let's get real and have some fun.
Years ago, and that's what my plan is, and that's what I'm beginning. And I am looking for people, because I used to do all the setup myself. I can't do that anymore just because of age and energy, and
Oh, you're putting your energy into other things.
I am looking for people who want to work with me to set up lecture tours or workshop tours, whichever way you want to look at that. Yeah, for sure.
So if you're listening to this, watching this, and connect with Norma, I'll put the links on so you can do that directly and help facilitate something, because I do think that having some in the spring probably would be a good time to start looking at some of this kind of work, because by then, I'm seeing it now. I see a lot more people who previously never commented on the shows or didn't seem to be all that interested in this kind of expanded exploration, which I call exploring higher visions, which is what we're doing about all kinds of things, not just metaphysical, but more people are saying, hey, you know what? I'm tired of just being told by whatever religion or government or parents or whatever, and I'm not asking anyone to be disobedient to anybody. I'm saying we're knowing it. We're asking. It's time for us to be. There's a difference between being respectful of elders, respectful of our systems, our parents, or whatever, and really doing our own work. I think we're not all here to be group mind.
I agree. I think that we individually, our inner connection to our source of being, if we call it God or Allah or whatever, it doesn't matter. The name doesn't matter.
Right.
But the knowingness that there is a source that we can connect to that brings to us an understanding, not only of ourselves, but of humanity. I think that's very important to come to terms with and understand. And sometimes energetically, and we talked about having a reading from a book and someone being there. I know energetically by being in a room, things shift just because I'm there.
Yeah. And
I know I have met different teachers at different times where that definitely has been experienced and felt. And I know that happens. It's because you show up and you bring with you the energy of who you are.
We really did go more into the past lives today, but what do you at this time feel about we've got a lot of chaos and stuff going on the planet. Do you have any sort of thoughts about that?
In the world, there's dissension, and that bothers me. I think the lack of respect and acceptance of differences is huge. And there's a group of us that work to, and it could be a fair percentage, to accept people as they are and to love people and to see the peace. But I've always said, you're not going to have peace outside in the world if you don't have peace on the inside of yourself. That's something I have said for years and years. The joy, the love, the essence. So to me, with what's happening not only with our planet, with our political systems, we talk about these children that are coming into the world, but what's happening to all these children that are going nuts and shooting people and killing people? We are probably at such huge polarity right now. So it's like somewhere in the middle is that sense of sanity, an awareness of acceptance of differences. I'm not sure how that's going to work out, because it seems to me that as soon as somebody has a different colored skin or a different culture or a different belief system, fingers are pointed, and it's snowballed over the years.
But do you think that as my sense, I think I wrote something about this on Facebook the other day, was we've got people who've been doing healing work, light workers, calling themselves different labels, and it doesn't matter what they are, but really having this commitment to peace. And you know, I mean, I look back to about the 60s, and that was kind of when people started to look around and say, hey, you know, we're doing something really weird, but we're still doing it. And I mean, this is, you know, what are we talking here? 60 years later, we are still having, or nearly, we're still having that, just talk. That's how I see it. It's just talk. Like, I see so many encouraging people, encouraging other people, like, love yourself, love your neighbor, we're all the same. And it's like, well, if there's that many people talking like that and actually believing it, how is it that we're having this chaos going on? So I'm wondering if, for me, it feels like now's the time, guys. This is, excuse the expression, but shit or get off the pot. It's time to speak, walk your talks, not just talk about it anymore. Like, I don't know. I'm not advocating anything other than putting it into practice.
That's the thing. How you can put it into practice in your community, in your home, in your community, but how do you get it into practice unless you get into the political situation? And what happens to so many people that go in with the idealism, they find they can't do anything.
I went down that road, and the system isn't really conducive to new peaceful type of thought. It's not conducive. I mean, if you think about it, and I'm not trying to even criticize, it's the system. You have the government and you have the opposition. What's their job? To attack each other. That's it. What kind of, by virtue of the design is to one person's wrong, one person's right. And so for me, I think part of raising that vibration is to have shows like this where we actually do talk to each other and say, hey, that person's all right. That person is got some good ideas, and I'm not afraid of them anymore. I mean, that, to me, fear is a big part of it.
I've got one point I want to make here. When we work with peace inside and put the thought form out, we've got to remember the collective consciousness is there. I thought a lot about this because I couldn't figure out, like, you know, with people are starving in Africa and now they're dying of Ebola, and then there's war in the Middle East that's exploding. But if you have people who present peace thoughts, and I have had an experience where this has worked in my world, then what happens, that collective consciousness is out there, and if the person wants to reach into it, they can bring it into themselves and begin to have a different feeling and a different perception. And I think that we must hold that vision of knowing that thought form of peace, acceptance of each other, a respect for each other, even if we don't agree with what they're doing and saying, that thought form can be reached if they so choose. It's like when you're depressed and it's all dark. If a beam of light comes in there and says, hey, this is a way out, you have a choice to stay in the dark or to look at that beam of light and start crawling out. And I think those of us that are in the light worker phase will say that. We must remember that the collective consciousness is there. It is there, and it is there for a purpose. That even though it may feel like we're not achieving too much, it's individuals. It's the individual who is at the despair and says, oh, God, help me. And they have this feeling of peace that comes into their heart because they reached out. It's the person that says, show me a direction, I'm lost. And that a vision that comes into them somehow to be able to feel a bit more peaceful.
It's just a perfect example of, a lot of people say, oh, I can't do anything, the problems are too big. They're not. The problems, it's like the domino effect. So I love it. I think we can wrap this up and just let everyone watching know, I mean, first of all, do whatever it is that makes your heart sing, and check out Norma's page on Let's Get Real Chattin with Catherine.com if you want to bring her to your community and do lectures and make those connections. And I'm sure we're going to chat again real soon. Norma, is there anything else you want to end with?
No, I just want to say God bless and enjoy your life. Enjoy.
That's a good one. I love that. All right. Well, until next time, take care.
Wasn't that amazing? Thank you to my guests for sharing with us today. Thank you for watching. Feel free to share the link. You can join us for live shows by going to letsgetrealchattinwithcatherine.com and listen to the replays from the show page, preview guests, and explore links to our Facebook fan page, WordPress blog, and more. We are creating an exquisite world. Until next time, take care.